Quadratic equations, the fourth chapter of class 10 mathematics. It is quite similar to the second chapter of class 10, which is called polynomials. Now, why quadratic equations is little bit similar to polynomials and how it is still different than polynomials, that we are going to learn today. And by the way, this will be one short video. That means within 20 to 25 minutes, I will try to explain you this chapter so that this will come handy in your upcoming examinations. So, hello everyone, my name is Bitupan Sir and you are watching BSTC. Let's start. Quadratic equations. The standard form of a quadratic equation is ax squared plus bx plus c equal to 0. If you remember, in the chapter polynomial, you get the same thing, but there was no equal to 0 sign. Am I right? That's why it is different than polynomial, but still similar to polynomial. Ax squared plus bx plus c is a standard form of a quadratic polynomial, whereas ax squared plus bx plus c equal to 0 is a standard form of a quadratic equation. In this case, a, b and c, they are real number, and also a cannot be equal to 0. Why a cannot be equal to 0? Let me explain this. If a is 0 somehow, then 0 into x square will be 0 eventually. That means there will be no x square plus, only bx plus c will remain. Correct? And since ax square will not remain in that case, that means that will no longer be a quadratic equation. To be a quadratic equation, you must have the polynomial with highest power 2. Okay? So if x square doesn't exist, then it is no longer a quadratic polynomial. That's why a cannot be 0. So this is the standard form of a quadratic equation. So if you get a question like x squared plus 2x plus 4 or minus 4 equal to 0, whether this is quadratic equation or not, the answer will be yes. However, if I write something equal to this, suppose x squared plus 2 once again, this is equal to this, and the question is whether this is a quadratic equation, then the answer should be no, because x squared and x squared both are with the same sign present on either side of the equal sign. That means I can cancel x squared and x squared. If they get cancelled, that means the remaining parts are 2x minus 4 equals to 2. So there will be no x square remaining, correct? If there is no x square, then I told you already, okay, it will not be a quadratic equation. And that's why this cannot be considered as quadratic equation. So before answering whether this is a quadratic equation or not, check whether the square term will be cancelled or not. If it can be subtracted or added, it's fine. But if it can be cancelled, that means it will no longer be a quadratic equation. The next thing we will learn in this chapter is how to factorize a quadratic equation. For example, 2x squared plus 7x plus 3 equals to 0. The question is factorize. Now, for the same question, two different problems can come. One is factorize this quadratic polynomial. In this case, we have to use middle term splitting method. One way. And the other way, the question can come as solve for x. Solve for x means not only you have to find the factors, but also you have to find the answers. Now for the answers of a quadratic equation, they are called roots. If you remember, in the chapter polynomial, we learned that whenever we find the answer of a quadratic polynomial, the answers are called zeros, right? Alpha and beta, I hope you remember. So those are called zeros. However, in quadratic equation chapter, the same thing are known as roots. So you can call them roots, you can call them solutions, you can call them zeros also. So all are synonyms, all mean the same thing. Those are answers only. So here, solve for x means you not only have to find the factors, but also have to find the answers or roots or solutions. Let me show you quickly how to factorize using middle term splitting. Now, in that case, you have to multiply the coefficient of square term with the last number, last constant term, which is 3. In this case, 2 and 3, when you multiply, you get 6. Now, you have to find two numbers or a combination such that when you multiply, you get this answer, and when you add or subtract, you get the middle number. So 6 can be factorized as 6 into 1, or you can also say 2 into 3, right? So any one of the combinations must give this middle number. Now 6 and 1, when you multiply, you get 6. When you add, you get 7, which is matching here. However, 2 and 3, if you multiply, you get 6. but if you add or subtract, you will never get 7. So the correct combination will be 6 and 1. So I will take 2x squared plus, instead of 7, I am splitting as 6 plus 1 into x plus 3 equals to 0. Because I splitted 7 into 2 parts, that's why it is known as middle term splitting method. Now let us remove the square, this bracket, and by the way there cannot be two equal signs, so this has to be square, this has to be implies. Now 2x squared plus 6 into x plus 1 into x plus 3 equals to 0. So if you take 2x common from this, then here x will remain, here 3 will remain, and here 1 will be taken out as common, x plus 3 remains. These two are same, so I can write x plus 3, and here the other numbers, other factors will be 2x plus 1. If you are asked to find factorize, so this is the step where you have to stop. This is the factorization. But if you are asked to solve the equation, then you have to find either or. Either x plus 3 equals to 0, that implies if you keep x, 3 will go to other side, become minus 3. Or 2x plus 1 equals to 0, if you keep 2x, 1 will go to other side, become minus 1. And then if you keep x, then it will be minus 1 by 2. So these are the two answers, two zeros, two roots of x. That's how you should find the answer, or you have to factorize a quadratic polynomial. So this is the second topic. Let's move to the third topic now. The third topic of a quadratic equation is to find nature of the roots. That means if the quadratic polynomial ax squared plus bx plus c equal to 0, and we have to find what kind of roots we will find, whether they are real equal or real unequal or they are imaginary roots, that can be found without solving the quadratic equations. Yes, you heard me right. Without solving the equation also, we can test what kind of roots or zeros or solutions you will find. Let me take the same example we took a few minutes ago. 2x squared plus 7x plus 3 equals to 0. Now in this case, what kind of answers we will get? Whether the roots will be equal, whether they are unequal, or you will find imaginary roots, that we will discuss here. So the way to test the roots is called discriminant. Discriminant. And discriminant is denoted by the alphabet D. The formula for D is b square minus 4ac. Now the condition number 1, if b square minus 4ac, when you find the answer, if the answer is equal to 0, then we will find real and equal roots. Real and equal roots. And if the condition is b square minus 4ac greater than 0, that means if you find positive answers for this, if you get 1 or 2 or 10 or 20, whatever number, but this positive number you get, then the roots will be real but unequal roots. Unequal roots. Unequal means one root can be 2, the other root can be minus 7. One root can be 3, the other root can be 1 by 9. So that kind of answers you may get. They will be unequal. Wherever the first case, whereas the first case real and equal, you will get suppose 5 and 5, minus 9, 1 by 7, 1 by 7, real and equal. And the third condition, very important one, if b square minus 4ac is less than 0, that means if the number is negative, if the answer is negative, answer means does not the value of x, answer means only about b square minus 4ac. If you find this part and the answer becomes minus something or suppose less than 0, then there will be no real root exists. You can write no real roots, or also you can write imaginary roots. As of now, I will write no real roots exist. Now let me show you the same thing for this given example. Now in this case, we know a is 2, b is 7 and c is 3. So if I find b square minus 4ac, b square minus 4ac, here b is 7, so square of 7 minus 4 into 2 into 3, then you will get 49 here, and here 4 to the 8, 8 to the 24. So when you subtract them, you get 25. This answer is positive, greater than 0. If this is greater than 0, then what kind of roots you will find? You will find real but unequal roots. Okay, So if it is real and unequal, I would say if it is greater than 0, you will find real and unequal roots, and that's how you will change the nature of the roots. Next topic. So sometimes you get one kind of quadratic equation which you are asked to factorize, or you are asked to find the roots, but you will find that this cannot be factorized using middle term splitting method. For example, look at this question. Here the equation is 3x square plus 8x plus 1 equal to 0. As per the rule, we will multiply 3 and 1, correct? When you multiply 3 and 1, you get 3. Now the combinations to get 3 is only 3 and 1 and nothing else. But these two numbers, when are added or subtracted, you will never get 8. That means this cannot be factorized using middle term splitting method. In this case, what you have to adopt? To solve this question, you have to use a different formula. That formula is known as quadratic formula. So this is called quadratic formula. The quadratic formula is given by x equals to minus b plus minus square root b square minus 4ac by twice a. That means in this case, you can see this is the formula, and b square minus 4ac, if you remember, you already found it in discriminant. That means when you are asked to factorize a question and you see it cannot be factorized using middle term splitting method, at first you should test with b square minus 4ac. Because if you find this b square minus 4ac beforehand, then you can easily put this value in this formula. And second profit is there, if you find b square minus 4ac and suppose the answer becomes less than 0, that means there will be no real root exists. In that case, you don't have to solve this equation because there will be no real root exist. So let me solve this question for you to make you understand. At first here a is given, b is given, and c is 1. So b square minus 4ac, b is 8 square minus 4 into 3 into 1, it is 64 minus this 12. When you subtract, you get 52, but that is greater than 0. If it is greater than 0, so there will be real and unequal roots exist, correct? So therefore x equals to, because the variable is x, so I have written x. If the variable is y, I will have written y. So it is minus b plus minus b square minus 4ac by twice a. Here b is 8, so it will be minus 8 plus minus square root b square minus 4ac. I already found this answer. The answer is 52, so I write 52 here. Divided by 2a. A means here 3. Next step, I write minus 8 plus minus 52. Let us factorize 52. I will get 26. I will get 13. 13 is a prime number. 2 is paired. If it is paired, then 2 will come outside and 13 will remain inside. And the denominator is 6. Next step, I can see these numbers are even numbers. I can take 2 as common. It will be minus 4 plus minus root over 13 by 6. So I can cancel 2 and 6, which is 3. So the value of x is minus 4 plus minus root 13 by 3. What is the meaning of plus minus? That means 1. Remember in factorization we wrote either or, that means 2 times we solved the question. Similarly here also it will be either and or. Let me show you in this way. Either x will be minus 4, then I will take only one sign, plus root 13 divided by 3. This is one of the answers, and the other answer is or. X equals to minus 4 then minus, because remember plus minus was there. Once I use plus, the next time it is minus root 13 by 3. Then if in a particular question you can minimize or add or subtract, do it. If in this case it cannot be done, so this is the answer. So that's how we use this quadratic formula. This is called quadratic formula. So this is it about quadratic formula and solving a particular quadratic equation. Let us move to the last topic. What problem? As you know, in one short video, if I have to conclude the video within 20 minutes or so, I can show you all the word problems. But however, I will give you some tricks to use word problems. In word problems, if it is from quadratic formula, the conditions will be given to you clearly, not about quadratic or it will be not about quadratic formula or not about quadratic equation or linear equation, but the conditions will be in such a way that you will get to know, okay, if I consider one value, the other value can be obtained. For example, the question is, if the sum of two numbers is 13 and one of the number is 6, what is the other number? You can easily say 7, because from the sum you can subtract 6, you will get 7. In a word problem, usually those numbers are not given. However, sum or one of the numbers can be given. For example, the sum of two numbers is 13 and their product is 450. Now, if the sum is 13 and product is 450 and now the numbers are given, what we can do? We can consider it to be quadratic equation chapter and consider one of the number to be x. Now, if the sum is 13, if the sum of the numbers is 13 and one of the number we assume to be x, one number, if it is x, then the other number will be obtained by subtracting one number from the sum, which is 13. Okay, so this is the other number, this is x, and the second equation was given as the product is 450. Product means product of the numbers. Here the numbers are x and 13 minus x. That means according to question, if you multiply x and 13 minus x, then you will get the product. Now when you multiply them, one of the numbers is x squared. For example, this is 13x minus x squared equals to 450. So you can arrange the number minus x squared plus 13x minus 450 equals to 0 by bringing 4 to this side. And since the quadratic equation has minus in the square term, let me multiply all the numbers with minus sign. I will get plus x squared minus 13x plus 450 equals to 0. And then you can solve the equation by using either factorization or by using quadratic formula. So that's how you solve a word problem, considering one of the unknown value as x and finding the other one first, and then putting up in the second condition in an equation and then solving. And sometimes you may not get a word problem, sometimes you get question with x or y variable, and that we have to prove, that we have to solve. So these are the common things and basic things of quadratic formula. I hope you understood the video. If you have liked this video, then please press the like button, share and subscribe to this channel. Thank you so much. Bye bye.